Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias. Today I want to talk about an old saying, walk before you can run. It sounds obvious, how can you run if you can't even walk? But I think a lot of us are guilty of, when we're learning something, expecting to make rapid progress very quickly and being disappointed when that doesn't happen. So I want to talk today about the virtue of patience and how walking before you can run can really help you in the long term, even if it isn't the most quick thing in the world. Because at the end of the day, you should be far more focused on learning to do something right than learning to do it quick. I'm sure we are all guilty, I know I am, of thinking that we are going to progress much faster than we actually do in balisong flipping. I remember when I bought my first Squiddy Bee. In the week that it took to ship to me, I was watching a bunch of Will Hirsch videos and I was thinking, oh man, I'm going to flip for like a month and I'm going to be flipping like this. I'm going to be this good. And now here I am almost 5 years later, and it's arguable whether I've even reached that point at all. It's very easy to want to make quick progress and in the process, forget about learning the basics, learning the steps required to get there. You have to build the basic skills required before you can really dive in and learn the more advanced stuff. And sometimes that progress isn't as fast as we want, and that's okay. Everyone learns at different rates. If we apply this to learning a balisong trick, the running would be doing a behind the eight ball, which I just failed. Doing a behind the eight ball. But in order to run, you have to learn how to walk. If you just try to run it down, your fingers don't have any idea what they're doing. You're not going to learn that way. And ultimately, if you just trial and error that, it's probably going to take you longer than it ever would have if you just broke it down into simple steps and learned what to do. Okay, I have to go around my index finger like that. And then I have to go around my thumb like that. Then I have to go around my other thumb like that, but I can't do any of that. So, around my finger, around my finger, around my finger. And you just repeat this over and over again until you actually have it down. Okay, great. Now I do the next part. And then I do the next part. And then I do the next part. And the next part. And the next part, and I repeat that over and over until finally the last part, and then I do the last part, and now I'm ready to put that all together. And putting it together is going to take a little time because your muscle memory is now to the point where you have to pause in between each of these. But eventually, as you do it more and more, as you give yourself time to adjust, it will look perfectly fluid. And sometimes you won't even be able to do the walk part. Sometimes you got to crawl before you can walk. Maybe you have to practice flinging the handle out and putting your index finger inside. You have to practice that over and over again to get the feeling of it down. And then you have to practice swinging the handle around and feeling how the balisong wants to come around your finger the whole time, and then actually letting it go and then catching it in weird ways and building those building blocks up until the final build. You don't just plop a Lego build out of the box completed. You have to go brick by brick and actually build it. So don't get impatient. Don't try and skip steps. Quality learning is more important than fast learning. And this can be applied to anything in life. Any skill that you're trying to learn, whether it be the behind the eight ball, balisong flipping in general, or any other hobby that you might have. Quality learning and actually focusing on getting better, it's far more important than just trying to instantly be good, because no one's instantly good. There's prodigies who get good quickly, but no one's ever instantly good. You got to give yourself the time needed to actually build up to that. I would also recommend that you do this in terms of habit building. So let's say you want to be a world-class balisong flipper one day. And you go, okay, in order to do that, I need to flip for 2 hours every single day. Well, that's a pretty big goal. And if you really want that to become a habit, you have to stick to that every single day to actually build that habit. But a lot of people are very busy. So 2 hours a day, it's going to be very easy for something to happen and for you to be too busy, and then you miss a day. And then you think, oh, well, I missed the other day, so I might as well miss today. And oh, I'm not feeling very well today, so I'm not going to do it today. And then suddenly a year goes by and you've done nothing. If you instead said, I just want to flip for 15 minutes a day, even though that sounds useless, even though it sounds like that's not going to get you anywhere, that's still 15 minutes every day that you would have been flipping. And it's far more over the course of a year than you ever got with your 2 hours a day flipping. And I'm not saying you can't go for longer, but if you just set that goal at a low bar, then on some days you're going to say, okay, I actually feel like going for longer. And then you flip for an hour and then you're good. Some days it's just going to be, okay, I've done my 15 minutes, but you've still done it. It was a low barrier to entry. You did it. You're building that habit. This is exactly what happened to me with guitar. I've had this guitar for 2.5, 3 years now. I still can't play it beyond a select 1 or 2 easy songs, maybe. Because I kept going, okay, I'm going to play this for an hour. I'm going to play this for 2 hours a day. And then after a year, guess how good I'm going to be? And then I would skip days. And then I would miss days. And then I just wouldn't even think about it at all. And now I'm 3 years in, and I still can barely play the damn thing. Could you imagine if I had spent the last 3 years just playing 10 or 15 minutes a day? I'd be so much better than I am now. I can tell you that for a fact. So, walk before you can run. However you take that, whether you mean it to be patience or breaking things down to their essential building blocks, or not setting goals that are way too high, way too quickly. Work up to things. Have patience. It will pay off. I promise you. Quality learning is better than fast learning. I hope this helped you in some way, whether you're going to get into ballad songs or however you're going to use it. If not, sorry about that. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Later.